Like I always say, this review of Dragon Ball Super is sponsored by our friends over at Verve. And now on Verve, you can watch not only Dragon Ball Super subbed and dubbed Yu Yu Hakusho, but Verve just added One Piece. That's right, you can watch One Piece on Verve. But it's not just anime. Verve has all kinds of live action movies and content from various different content creators all over the web and all over media, and it works on all your devices, and they're always adding new stuff to the platform. Check it out. The link is in the description. Super was off for a week, and now it is back with episode 129. 3 episodes remain in this arc and in this series. Goku and Jiren continue to square off for the championship of the Tournament of Power. Tonight's episode 129, Genkai Chozetsu Topa Migate no Gokui Kiwamaru, which translates to Transcendent Limits Surpassed, Ultra Instinct Mastered. God, that's a cool name. Migate no Gokui. By the way, a couple days ago, did a video with Herms on the channel where we actually broke down what Migate no Gokui actually means and the different translations for it. So if you want to learn a bit more about Japanese and kind of the whole meaning behind the name of the form, check that out on the channel. I'll leave a link at the end of this video. So anyways, this episode, boy, where do I start? I don't even know where to start with this episode, because I have really weird feelings about this episode in the sense of it was okay. It was hard to explain. So I liked the episode. I felt like the ending of the episode was a lot stronger than the beginning of it. I think what they tried to do was use kind of the first half of the episode to sort of set things up for the big climax in the second half, which is what they did with the last episode, 128. But I personally felt that it was much more effective in episode 128 with what they did with the Vegeta character than here. Basically, the first half of this episode is essentially Goku trying everything he can against Jiren, and it becomes this big sort of battle of wills. And while this is going on, what was interesting, I felt, was the commentary from the people watching the tournament on the sidelines. To me, though, the one thing that's going to stick out about this episode that I'm going to remember, and this is just my opinion, if you disagree, that's cool, because it's fine. But what sticks out to me most about this episode is the aesthetics of the episode. In other words, how it looked. And I don't just mean the animation. I mean overall, there were some very unique visuals. And the episode had certain colors and just things that we've never really seen before in Dragon Ball. And when you look back at Dragon Ball, all the Dragon Ball shows, right? You always have unique colors. You have sort of in Dead Zone, you have the red background, the Chinese kind of, with Garlic Jr.'s palace. Then with the World's Strongest movie, you have sort of the blue science lab. Then on Namek, you have the green sort of water, and you have all these different unique aesthetic looks. And then of course in the Janemba movie, you're in hell and you have those weird kind of bouncing balls. So I think no matter if we're talking about movies or manga or anime, Dragon Ball tries to have really unique environments, right? And I like that. And this episode had one of the more unique environments, which I'm going to get to shortly here in a minute. So the episode, first of all, the atmosphere of the episode I thought was great. I love how they had the drums at the beginning of it. Boom, 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 boom. And they once again remind us that Goku is really at his limits. And we've heard this how many times now? And they talk about how, Goku is still not fully mastering Ultra Instinct at the beginning of the episode. In other words, his attacks are not hitting, just like with the Kefla fight. And Whis pretty much says that, yeah, this is his last chance. He's got to do it now. And that point was hammered home a lot in this episode, that this is it. They really are making it clear that Goku has to win here. So Goku tries to do the same strategy as he did before by charging up a Kamehameha, but Jiren, come on, that ain't going to work on Jiren. And they tell us that Jiren has pretty much figured Goku out. So Goku kind of changes it into this sort of barrier move, so he wouldn't take Jiren's attack, but Goku's still kind of weak. And then they have this interesting exchange on the sidelines between Vermouth, Belmod, and Vegeta, and they all pretty much are talking, right? And Vermouth is not impressed by this Ultra Instinct, even though I thought he was impressed by it before, but maybe I'm wrong. Vegeta, of course, is like cheering Goku on. Now, I know that some Dragon Ball fans are going to say, oh, they've turned Vegeta into Goku's cheerleader. Why is he saying that Goku's going to beat Jiren? Blah, blah, blah. You know, look at how the Saiyans improved during the tournament. You know, I don't see that as being a negative because Vegeta's out, dude. Like, Vegeta has no choice but to cheer Goku because if Goku loses, they lose. Like, he has no choice but to do it. But he wasn't really cheering Goku. He was more so telling Universe 11 to shut up. So don't take that as Vegeta cheering for Goku as much as Vegeta telling them that, you know what you're talking about, don't underestimate my race. Because that's pretty much what Vegeta's always said, right? So this pisses off Vermouth. And he's like, listen, Jiren, finish this dude. And then, of course, Vegeta talks about how you can't lose because, you know, we made a promise, the pride, you know, the typical Vegeta. So they start going at it hard, explosions. They're doing some really, there's a fun portion of this fight where they have this really sophisticated kind of blocking and striking that almost resembles like an old school kung fu movie, and I really enjoyed that. When you see it, if you haven't seen it yet, which I hope most of you have because we're going into spoilers here, it looks really awesome, and that was probably my favorite part of the fight. So there was some reused animation, okay? And what they did. Now, I'm not an animation expert. That's what AJ does. AJ's the animation expert. Wes, K, those are the guys who really know about this stuff. I know enough, but I don't know what they know. But what they pretty much did here was there was some banked animation during the fight, reused from the intro and from 109 and 110. With this sort of white and blue background. It looked very different. Now, again, that goes back to what I'm talking about with the aesthetic. So not only were there very unique colors, like they're fighting with this weird blue thing like over them, which I think looked weird. I'm not going to lie. That did take a little bit away from the fight. It was almost too many colors coming at me at once. But what I did like is sort of like what happened to the arena. So the arena's falling apart right here. Like the whole arena looks like somebody took a cupcake and cut it in half, right? Like imagine like a cupcake, right, without the frosting on top, cut in half. That's what it looked like here. Very unique. Again, goes back to what I'm talking about at the beginning of the review. Very unique aesthetics. It looked different. Like we've seen Goku and Frieza battling on planet Namek with the volcanic ash and, you know, the planet's about to blow up. We've seen Goku fighting Buu and tearing up the Kai planet, the Supreme Kai planet. Same thing here. Like it's just a very unique sort of feel for a final battle, which I liked. You got to appreciate that. I like that kind of stuff. So they have this awesome scene where Goku's clenching his fist, right? And we're kind of seeing, you know, again, purple, really unique colors, and we start hearing Ultimate Battle, you know, the violins and, you know, dun, 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 the instrumental version. So Jiren basically is trying to penetrate this, you know, this big shield. Goku, even though Vegeta's cheering him on, it's just he's not turned the tables yet. But Whis talks about how he's concentrating on the battle, not on anything else. He's not distracted, which I do like. That's what I believe Jiren says. That's what Herm said that Jiren, or that Jiren, Whis. I'm sorry, Whis. So, again, Belmont, Vermouth wants Jiren to finish this thing. He goes for a bunch of blasts. Beerus is like, shut up. And he thinks that it's over. Like, at this point, it's over. But Topo's like, well, wait a minute. No, Goku is going from defense to counterattack. So he goes in this big power up, like he roars. Belmont is screaming. Jiren fires his blast, and all of a sudden, the big red energy just dissipates. Like this big red sort of ball of energy just dissipates, and like, you know, they of course calm everybody down. That's a classic Dragon Ball trick, and basically, you know, we see Goku begin his transformation. I mean, you know, this is not a spoiler. You should know because it was covered in V-Jump. It was covered in several previews. This is it right here. So Goku appears behind Jiren, and he's completely white, like glowing like a ghost. Completely white. Jiren goes in for a shot. He misses. Then Goku... So this is interesting. I'm trying to figure out how to describe this, okay? This is a very difficult review. So I want to apologize to you guys, okay, for this review because I'm having a hard time sort of explaining what happened. So I'm just hoping that you'll see it and kind of get where I'm coming from, right? So it looks like Goku hits Jiren, but he's like, he has his back turned to him. Like almost like he's not even looking at him, but he's hitting him with moves somehow because he's just moving at this really fast speed. And I'm just thinking, what the hell's going on? Like, I'm actually watching this and my eyes are not processing this. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I don't know. But it was cool. It was almost like Goku was just tearing this dude up. And then they show the pan shot of Goku from the bottom to the top. His shirt is indeed ripped, and Beerus legitimately refers to it as Kanzen. I think I heard him say this. Kanzen Migate no Gokui, perfected Ultra Instinct. And they zoom in on Goku's eye, and that's what ends the episode. So this is a really tricky episode to review, guys, like I said, because if you look at this episode and you never saw 109 and 110, right? If you never saw those, this would be a phenomenal episode. But I feel like a lot of this is kind of treading water again. I feel like a lot of this is just, it's sort of like, it really reminded me of just like the same thing, just with a new form, right? That's really how it came off. And I love 109 and 110. And I'm not saying this episode is not good. Don't think that. I just wonder, like, if there was kind of a different way to introduce this mastered Ultra Instinct, you know, versus what they did before. Because it is similar. And to be honest with you, I mean, I'll be honest, I actually like the idea of Goku almost dying at the hands of the Spirit Bomb of the Genki Dama. I actually like that idea a bit more than what they did here. You know, it was cool kind of how they did with the big red thing. But I think the Genki Dama, because we have so much familiarity with it from so many different years of seeing that move used on different characters, I feel like it... You know, I honestly feel like it was more impactful the first time, seeing Ultra Instinct Omen, you know, back in 109 and 110. But overall, like, I enjoyed the way it looked. It's awesome. I actually like the silver hair. I think it's a little too soon to kind of bring in a new form, but it's too late. Super's ending, and I want to see what this new form can do. And next week on Super, shirtless Goku against shirtless Jiren. That's right. In the preview, you see Jiren with no shirt on. I thought that was kind of interesting. You know, ripped up. You know, this is the real final battle coming up in the next episode, 130. And it's just really interesting to me, you know, that, you know, the transformation, again, it looks awesome. Like, it looks legitimately, like, frightening. But I'm always wondering, like, okay, where does Goku go from here? Like, where does he go from here? So, we'll see, but I don't think Jiren's going down without a fight, folks. I really don't want him to just trash Jiren. Like, I want these dudes to go in there and pummel each other, and I think we're going to get that next episode. Also, conspicuous by his absence, Frieza. No, I don't think that Frieza is out. Again, they are purposely holding off for a reason with him, and I think we're going to see him pop up in the next couple of episodes. I mean, we have to, because Super's ending in 2 episodes, which is kind of a bummer, dude. Like, look, even if you like or you hate Super, it doesn't matter how your feelings are on the episode. It gave us something to talk about. It gave us something to do on the weekends and have discussions about, and I'm going to miss it. Even though there are flaws, even though there were great moments and I had a great time watching it, I am going to miss Dragon Ball Super. You know, so it's interesting. And I should also mention, too, at the end of the episode, Beerus is like, the form, the brightness, he truly completed Ultra Instinct, you know, and I thought that was kind of a cool thing. So yeah, next week, Jiren and Goku have an all-out battle, so we'll discuss more on that tomorrow in my preview. Don't forget, guys, Verve is the sponsor of the Super Reviews. I'm probably going to come back later tonight and do a stream with all you guys and discuss what we saw tonight. And then probably do my preview tomorrow on the channel. I'm probably going to do a stream tonight late. We'll have a good time, of course, discussing the episode. I'm going to watch the episode again because there were a lot of bits of dialogue that I need to revisit that I missed. I'm going to watch it again. Then we're going to have a real good discussion this evening about it. So, you know, and again, just to clarify, Beerus describes it as, you know, Kanzen Naru Migate no Gokui, or Kansei, or whatever, Kansen, Perfect Ultra Instinct. It's still just called Ultra Instinct, but it is the completed one. So it's Ultra Instinct the way it was meant to be seen. Anyways, folks, remember, check out Verve, our sponsors. They have One Piece on there, Yu Yu Hakusho. They have Dragon Ball Super dubbed and subbed. Check it out. Tons of actual movies, tons of anime. There's so much content on Verve. The link is down below for y'all to sign up through my affiliate link. They are the sponsors of the Dragon Ball Super reviews here on the channel. Thank you. Have a great one, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.